I was standing in the kitchen arranging the last of the charcuterie boards for our engagement party when I heard her whisper into the phone from the hallway. "I can't leave him yet, but after tonight I'll find a way. Just be patient, love." The words froze me in place, prosciutto slice dangling from my fingers. In less than 12 hours our closest friends and family would be filling this apartment to toast the life we were supposedly building together. My name is Claire. I'm 31, a pediatric nurse in Boston, where the winters bite hard and the hospital shifts can stretch into eternity. Ethan and I had been together 7 years, engaged for the last 4 months. We met during my residency. He was the paramedic who brought in a kid with a broken arm and stayed to make the boy laugh while I set the cast. He had this calm energy that cut through chaos and I fell for it fast. We moved in together after 2 years, adopted a goofy golden retriever named Max, and spent weekends exploring the North End or curled up watching old movies. Everyone said we were the couple that made it look easy. He proposed on a snowy night by the Charles River, down on one knee with a ring we'd picked out together months earlier. I said yes without hesitation, and the planning started immediately: venue hunting, guest lists, tasting menus. I threw myself into it because finally, after years of long shifts and saving every penny, we were stepping into the future we'd talked about since our first date. But in the weeks leading up to the party, I'd noticed small cracks. Ethan became protective of his phone in a way he never used to be, taking it to the bathroom, silencing it when we sat down to dinner. He'd get quiet when I talked about honeymoon ideas, changing the subject to work stress. His ambulance shifts were unpredictable, sure, but he'd started volunteering for extra overtime, coming home exhausted and distant. I'd ask if everything was okay, and he'd pull me close, kiss my forehead and say, "Just tired, babe." Wedding planning on top of everything is a lot. I believed him. I wanted to believe him. I was the one pushing for this party, wanting to celebrate before the real chaos of a big wedding kicked in. That afternoon, the apartment smelled like rosemary focaccia and fresh flowers. I'd taken the day off to set up while Ethan ran last-minute errands. I was alone, humming along to the playlist we'd made together, when his phone buzzed on the counter. He must have forgotten it. The screen lit up with a name I didn't recognize. Just initials. KM. The preview showed a heart emoji and the words, "Can't wait to hold you tonight." My pulse spiked. I told myself it was probably a coworker, some inside joke. But when the phone buzzed again, I picked it up. The passcode was still my birthday. I opened the thread. It wasn't a coworker. Message after message going back almost a year. Plans to meet up when he was supposedly on overnight shifts. Photos of them together in his rig. Her in the passenger seat where I used to sit. Voice notes where he told her he loved her laugh, her fire. The way she made him feel young again. And then the most recent ones talking about our engagement party like it was a hurdle to clear. "Once this is over," he'd written 2 days ago, "I'll have space to figure out an exit. I promise." I heard the front door open. Ethan walked in carrying bags of ice, smiling like everything was perfect. "Place looks amazing, Claire. You're incredible." I turned phone in my hand. "Who's KM?" His face changed in an instant, smile gone, eyes wide. He set the bags down slowly. "Give me the phone." "No. Tell me who she is." He exhaled, ran a hand through his hair. "Her name's Kayla. She's another paramedic. It started as someone to talk to on long shifts. I didn't mean for it to become this. I scrolled to a message from last week where he told her he couldn't wait to start a real life with her. "You've been planning to leave me while I plan our wedding? Claire, listen." "No. You listen." My voice stayed low, steady. "I've been killing myself to make this work. Extra shifts to save for the venue. Staying up late addressing invitations. And the whole time you've been telling another woman you're going to leave me after the party." He looked at the floor. "I didn't know how to end it with you. You've built this whole picture of us and I didn't want to hurt you. You're everything stable in my life. Safe. But with her it's different. Passionate. Your feelings are important, but they don't change what's missing for me. Safe." There it was again, the word that turned my stomach. I wasn't his partner. I was his safety net. I set his phone on the counter. "The party's off. Claire, come on. People are already on their way. Then you can tell them why." I walked past him to our bedroom, started pulling my clothes from the closet. He followed, pleading now, but I didn't raise my voice. I didn't need to. The quiet was worse. By the time the first guests arrived, I'd packed 2 suitcases and loaded Max into my car. I left Ethan standing in the doorway, explaining to confused friends that something had come up. I didn't stick around to watch. I stayed with my sister for a month, then found a small apartment across the river in Cambridge. The wedding deposits were mostly non-refundable. We lost thousands, but money felt meaningless compared to the dignity I'd almost handed over. I went back to work, threw myself into my patients, let their small victories remind me that care still mattered. Ethan texted apologies for weeks. I never replied. Last I heard, he and Kayla didn't last once the secrecy was gone. Some nights I still feel the ache of wasted years, of almost marrying someone who saw me as an obligation. But mostly I feel grateful. Grateful I overheard that call before I walked down an aisle toward a lie. If there's one thing I want you to take from this, don't ignore the quiet shifts. Don't mistake patience for blindness. You deserve someone whose excitement for your future matches yours completely. Not someone counting down to an exit. Real love doesn't need whispered promises to someone else. It shows up fully every single day without needing a backup plan. And when you find that, you'll know because there won't be any hallways where secrets hide.